who are supposed to actually preserve it and all that. But we'll get to that part. Talking about justice and injustice, Nigerians have been subjected to this never seen before inhuman injustice meted at them by their own government. So, a few weeks back, the President of the United States of America, Donald Trump, announced his intention to get involved in the ongoing killings of Christians in Nigeria. That statement or that designation, that designation of Nigeria being a country of particular concern, and this time because of religious persecution, is what the Islamists and their fellow sponsors and others are currently railing against. So Donald Trump said, Nigerian government have been found to be enablers of these terrorists. And this is the time for them to put an end to these killings. The Nigeria government of Tinubu decided to put up a defense. Their own defense is that calling the ongoing terrorism in Nigeria as Christian genocide would kind of lead to religious war in Nigeria. That was their own defense. Meanwhile, they've been designated. So being designated as the country of a particular concern comes with so many consequences, including blockade of aid, loans, military support, and many other things that ordinarily, truly, would affect Nigeria's war against terror. But the question is Nigeria really fighting war against the terrorists? Or Nigeria is just managing the terrorism, hoping that people will probably get so used to it? Now, things have gotten out of hands. The terrorists are ransacking villages. They are kidnapping people en masse. So if in the course of these killings, as we know, that they are not just killing Christians, the responsibility of a responsible government at this time is just probably going to be, listen, thank you very much for your concern, and you shouldn't have designated us. However, we are doing our best to get rid of these guys, but yeah, give us also time, and you will show working. Abi? So they started claiming that Nigeria is a sovereign country, an independent country, but yet the Islamic terrorists who have taken over almost half of the country as we speak, they have wrecked the economic base of the country. Millions of people have been displaced. In all of this, there was never a time that the National Assembly of Nigeria, the Nigeria apex lawmaking body, opened an investigation to these killings, or even push the executive further, the government, to do something. APC, Egbekegbe, have destroyed Nigeria. They have divided Nigerians. And in that chaos, they want to remain in power while people, millions of them, continue to live in refugee camps all over the northern part of Nigeria to start with. So they have been running propagandas, they have been running these gaslighting campaigns all over the place. While on the other side, Sheikh Osama bin Gumi has been going all over the place to try to remind us that these terrorists are on revenge mission and they must be negotiated with. The same Gumi who should have been arrested a long time ago simply possibly has forgotten that one of the reasons why this terrorism spread this much was because this same APC, Egbekegbe, have been rearresting. That's what they call the catch and release in America. Yeah. So they have been the soldiers who have successfully arrested some of these terrorists, handed them over to government. The moment they turn back, the same politicians who grant them amnesty. They call it Operation Safe Corridor, right? where they are bragging about the numbers of repentant terrorists they have returned back to the society. You understand? So the contradiction is what America said they should put an end to. But there's no plan of putting an end to it. They believe that they could like wriggle their way through it. And very soon, maybe Donald Trump will be distracted. But in America, where this whole thing is currently boiling, is that they've opened an inquiry, an open conversation around it. Brought those pro and those against lawmaker congressmen, including some other inter-religious bodies, as well as NGOs, others who are like trying to be for or against this redesignation of Nigeria as a country of particular concern. But genuinely, a lot of people like myself, we are very much interested in a situation whereby the government of Nigeria genuinely will put up the political will to go after these terrorists and their sponsor, so that at least there will be peace, right? How can you be planning reform or believing in yourself that you're doing one reform when almost half of the country is controlled by these terrorists, while the rest of the remaining part of the country is enveloped by the fear of what could be, or you know what I mean? So we want something that where your government actually really not collaborating with terrorists, from your state governors to your lawmakers to your local government administrators. So how can the security forces, who are also losing their own members, soldiers are being slaughtered, like, and the Nigerian army, which they have actually been, accused of culpability, collusion. Nigerian army, who have been losing their own members, soldiers. Do you know what it takes to train a soldier? To actually say, oh, this is a complete soldier. But to Nigeria, or under this APC, soldiers are being kidnapped, slaughtered. They even killed the brigadier general. How can you be negotiating with such people? How can you confidently tell people that you are fighting terrorists with non-kinetic, with the criminals who continue to commit the same crime? Not a single one of them has faced the judge, not in any court in Nigeria, especially these Fulani terrorists. So, like I said, they have now opened book. Those who believes that whether it's Christian genocide, Muslim genocide, the first responsibility of any responsible government is to protect the citizens. You do not negotiate with their killers. You do not promise them land so that you can have peace. You do not put aside extra budget to build ranches for them. Terrorists who are on bikes with war weapons, not just AK-47. These guys are carrying about RPG. They've hijacked their military tank. They are driving armored tank to go and face the same military. They've ransacked military bases, military armories. They've emptied, like the same weapons that Nigeria refused to use on them. The terrorists have managed to break into those places several times. So if there is any sort of like a possible way out of this, it is to either put pressure on the government or just bypass them. So would Donald Trump bypass them? Because he's got the power to. Yeah, they have a law in America that gives him that. And if he's got the sizable number of supports in the Congress, then that's it. I don't know about tomorrow. But as of today, Donald Trump and his party controls both, chambers, the Senate as well as the Congress, right? So, Tifnumbu sent Ribadom, the National Security Advisor, Oluyode, the Chief of Defense Staff, Igbetokun, the police IG, and others. They sent them to America to go and meet Congressman Riley. Remember when Trump said Congressman Riley should pile up all of this evidence and everything, including legislation on it, and bring it to his table, he will sign it, and then the next line of action will happen. During that time, there was this government shutdown in America, which they just kind of like lifted, I think just about last week or so. So this Congressman Riley, an equivalent of House of Representative member in Nigeria, is, just put it this way, an House of Representative member in America, right, has been designated by Trump to put together the legislation, while Ted Cruz is also busy doing his own in the Senate, right? There are so many other organizations who are pretty much on this. The Nigeria criminal government and their agents are very much aware of. I don't know the story they are telling you in Nigeria, but this killings that is going on in Nigeria has been considered a serious issue that in the coming days, weeks, or months, it could actually cost Tinubu his regime. That's extreme, yeah? It can go as far as that. So they send Rebadom, Igbetokun, Ololede, they sent all of them to America to go and speak to this House of Representative member and tell them the same thing they've been telling all the media houses. Everywhere they've been to, the same lie. You know, the number is exaggerated. Look, how many Christians do you think have been killed? You know, how many numbers of Muslims do you think have been killed? I don't have the number here because they don't. Because they don't care. So somebody is asking questions, something that the National Assembly of Nigeria should be doing. Lawmakers from over 6,600 miles away are concerned, and they send people to go and tell them the same story. They are killing Muslims too. They are killing Christians too. Where if they kill people in the Muslim populated area, those will be Muslim victims. If they kill people in the Christian dominated areas, those will be Christian victims. So it's not good to say it is Christian genocide. It is not even genocide. In fact, it's just that some people, who are killing them? Who are those killing them? Fulani terrorists, Boko Haram terrorists. In the middle of all of this, that live streamed video of that attack at Teruku in Kwara State is also part of the evidence they are using in America right now. The victims of Yelwata, the other victims from other parts of this middle belt of Nigeria, American Congress today connected with all of them, and they all gave their testimonies. While Nigerian Senate, National Assembly, they are singing on your mandate, on your mandate, on your mandate for Tinubu. So if you are watching from Nigeria, just think about that. I mean, you are still alive. It's yet to get to you. And those who told you that it will never get to you, or probably you are telling yourself that, well, it will get to everybody. It's just a matter of time. Okay? So tonight, right, after they met with Riley told them, you still need to do more than whatever you think you are doing. You actually need to stop these killings. And we need to see you begin the process of returning people back to their communities. People have been chased away from their communities. Those who survived, they were never to return again. All those communities have now been renamed, and all these terrorists have resettled in them. Nigeria government is aware. Local government administrators in this northern part of Nigeria, they are aware. Benue State Governor, who has been recruited, by the way, right now to also deny the genocide. Oh, that's where we're going to start from. From the criminal politicians who see what their people have been going through, but because of political affiliation, because of political advantage, or political profit or whatever, right? They decided to deny their people, right? Somebody like this guy is a reverend father in Benue State. Benue State used to be called the food basket of Nigeria. The Fulani terrorists turned Benue State to the burial ground center of Nigeria. In fact, they turned farms to mass graves. But their governor, in 2025,
of the cloth. So I am a reverend father. So being in governance does not take that away from me. I am still a reverend father. I came in as a governor, as a reverend father. I am working with the fear of God and the compassion of Christianity and humanity. And at the end of the day, I'm still going back to the church as a reverend father and a good Christian. So that is for the record. We need to understand this. In my state of Benue, we don't have any religious any ethnic, any racial, any national or state genocide. We don't have that. Do we have a number of insecurities in the state? Yes, we do. But it is not a genocide. Someone would need to go through there to check the United Nations definitions for this. Have we lost a number of people? Yes. We have at different stages. If I've given you a background of the challenges we've had many years ago, we're talking about the agro-pastoralists, got them the headers. And then we're talking about the agro-farmers, typical farmers. So it began like play, like joke, and then it went over and then just continued to some huge proportions. But that does not fit into the parameters of a genocide. So for those who seek to politicize everything, there is no genocide in Benue State. But we have security challenges in Benue. On the cloth.
Nuisance lele. Nuisance lele.
So that's the hyacinth or something. You know, the antelope of a Benue, right? And this was just a few days ago. But guess what? He is lying. He is the one politicizing it because politically, if he admits that there is genocide in 2025, now that America is involved, it will be added to the black book of Etifnumbu. This same hyacinth, this same time last year, said this.
Must up this game in our support and in fighting this insurgency. It is targeted, it is planned, and religiously it is being executed. They are terrorists, period. And we strongly believe
that's the madman. He said it is religiously being targeted, it is planned. When that was 2024. In 2025, he's now saying, do we have security challenges? Of course. But it all started, he started using all these their fancy words. Agro-pastoral crisis, pastoral crisis. You've heard of that before, right? So agro-pastoral crisis is going back to farmers others clashes. And guess what? Whenever their farmers and others clashed, according to them, now only the farmers, they buried their own loved ones. Or it is either the farmers are those buried with their loved ones, in their community raided, their entire properties burned down, razed down, and now the survivors are now living in IDP camp, where it is farmers others clash. There is no others anywhere. There is no other killed. There is no herdsman killed. There is no graveyard for herdsman. They say, they clashed though. How can you clash with somebody on his farm? When a state governor says agro-pastoral clash, for goodness sake, did we lose some people? We are talking about thousands of people. Thousands. Those are people killed in Benue State between 2015 and 2023 alone. Thousands. Did we lose some people? Yes. Did we have security challenges? Yes. But there is no any Christian genocide here. But a year ago, he told us that when he saw these dead bodies in Yewata, when they murdered people in Yewata, nearly 300 human beings, women, children, elderly, they were slaughtered. The terrorists who killed them, they were making videos. Tifnubu, the president of the contraption, couldn't even go to Yewata. They had to bring these people, traumatized people. They had to bus them for hours to the state capital to go and meet Tifnubu. When he met with them, what did he tell them? He said there is enough land for everybody. We need to learn how to live in peace together. There was no real, genuine condemnation or action against these murderers. It has gotten to a stage that we even say Fulani terrorist. These criminal politicians